Good morning. Today is Friday, February 21st, and today is day 10 of the 2025 legislative session. Before I get into talking about legislation that's been active this week, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the serious flooding that we had in southern West Virginia. So the West Virginia Chamber Foundation is currently collecting donations, and we are coordinating with entities on the ground to make sure that we are helping to purchase supplies that are extremely needed, especially down in McDowell County, where so many of our jobs for West Virginia's graduate students were impacted. Now, if you go onto the Chamber's website, we have online resources showing where supplies can be dropped off, what is needed, and so forth. So we really are needing to get supplies down to those citizens in southern West Virginia who were so impacted by the floods last weekend. We have some team members who are actually getting ready to get in the car right now and drive a couple carfuls of supplies down to McDowell County as well. So our hearts go out to everybody that's been impacted by this tragedy. I want to go ahead and just give a shout out for a minute for our Students for Jobs for West Virginia's graduates. Again, so many of them were impacted by this flood, but they are out there and they are working and they are helping with flood recovery efforts. So could not be more proud of these students who are out there on the ground right now helping with flood relief. So again, if you want to go ahead and know how to donate, you can go ahead and give to the West Virginia Chamber Foundation. We are coordinating again with entities on the ground to purchase the supplies that are needed. And we also have a resource page on our website where you can go and look at the different supplies that are needed or supplies that can be dropped off in different areas of the state. So again, thank you to everybody who has already pitched into this effort. The response has been truly incredible and overwhelming. So again, thank you, and go to our website for additional ways to help. Okay, back to the session. This has been a busy week at the Capitol. It was the first full week, but we did see a number of bills progress through the process. I'm going to talk about two bills that the West Virginia Chamber is opposing right now. The first is Senate Bill 439. This bill changes the tax status of wind turbines in West Virginia. Now, just to give you a little bit of history right now so we can understand this, back in 2007, a number of stakeholders came together to determine how to tax wind turbines. These stakeholders included coal, natural gas, local government officials, the wind energy companies themselves, state government. And the structure that was put in place basically considers wind turbines as pollution control devices and allows 79% of their total value to be taxed at salvage value, and the remaining 21% would be taxed at their actual value. Now, this is important because this is how we keep the playing field level for the wind turbines. Other power generation projects, your traditional power plants, they're able to access what's called pilot agreements. And pilot agreements are payment in lieu of taxes. It's a workaround that we have to do due to our constitutional structure on property taxation. But the pilot agreements essentially require government ownership of the property in order to make that work. Wind turbines are generally located on private land that is leased from individuals. Now, we're in West Virginia. Not too many people want to go ahead and sign over their land to the government for this use. So that is why the structure was designed for windmills, so that it could be competitive. The real concern we have with this bill is that if this moves forward, it is going to send a signal to outside entities that West Virginia cannot be trusted to keep a deal, that we are going to pull the rug out from under you. That is a really problematic bill. It advanced out of the Senate Energy Committee. It is currently in the Senate Finance Committee, and we are working very hard to keep that bill locked up in the Senate Finance Committee so that it does not move anymore. I went on Talkline yesterday as well to talk about this legislation and why it's not a good solution for West Virginia. The other piece of legislation that we are opposing is Senate Bill 453 or House Bill 2007, and that is the repeal of Certificate of Need in West Virginia. Now, Certificate of Need has been put in place for several decades, and 35 states and another 3 have some sort of a structure, but 35 states have Certificate of Need in place to make sure that they're not overdoing hospital services in a certain area and making sure that our systems are able to thrive and be successful. If we repeal Certificate of Need, our concern is that healthcare facilities from other states will be able to come into West Virginia and offer those very profitable services such as ambulatory surgical centers, imaging, diagnostics, and pull customers away from the hospitals and leave them with a much less profitable payer mix. And the payer mix is already a problem because right now, less than 25% of West Virginia patients have private insurance. So 75% is funded by government funding such as Medicaid, Medicare, and PEIA, and only 25% or less funded by private insurance. Just to go ahead and give you a comparison, nationally, 55 to 60% of people on health insurance have private health insurance. So certificate of need, while maybe well-intentioned, is just not the right solution for West Virginia. If you have some additional questions about that, you can reach out to us. We could go on and on in detail about that, but that is a bill that we are closely watching. It spent 5 hours under discussion in the House Health Committee yesterday, hearing witness testimony from a number of people, both for and against the repeal. We're going to be closely watching that bill. It will advance in the Health Committee process and likely be up for a vote early next week. So those are a couple of the main bills I wanted to go ahead and talk about today. As always, if you have questions, reach out to the Chamber. My email address is bdayton@wvchamber.com. And again, thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to coming back next week.